Thwarting the enemy's plan and restoring the Eye. Let Pyrakar explain to you how to use its power. I hope that I shall see you again once you have accomplished your mission. Farewell.
Now that the Eye of Enos is healed, you must face the dragons. They all serve Beliar, the god of darkness. But there must be an earthly power that controls them. That much has become clear to me. Find out what the source of their power is. As soon as you've found that out, come back to me.
You did it! The Eye of Enos is healed!
I would hardly have believed it possible.
What remains to be done here?
Do not waste your time on trivial things. Go and vanquish the dragons. Here, take the Eye. Bear in mind that you need to talk to a dragon first before you can attack it. The power of the Eye will force the dragons to speak to you and tell the truth. Furthermore, it offers protection against their attacks when you wear it. However, its power does not last. You will have to fill it up again with magical energy. To do that, you need the essence of a dragon's heart, which you merge with the Eye on an alchemist's bench. Only then can you dare face another dragon.
Thanks, I'll remember that.
You now have everything you need. Go then! You do not have much time left.
That's been known a long time. That was obvious all along. I'm not telling you anything. You know who to believe these days.
Of course we got him in the end.
That doesn't surprise me. Better off myself.
It was just like you said. What's happened in the meantime?
Silvio the bastard has heard about the dragons in the Valley of Mines and has made everyone here on the farm totally crazy about it. He's tried to convince the boys to follow him to the Valley of Mines. He's promised them fame, honor, gold, and all sorts of things. A lot of them have no interest in getting killed for Silvio, but there were quite a few idiots who fell for his drivel. The end of the story is that they got outfitted by Bennett and then set off. Basically, I'm glad that Silvio is finally gone from the farm.
You have to step in and sort things out.
Never would have thought of that. That's not what I heard. I'd have gone about it differently. No idea.
first I've heard of it.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
What does he know about duty?
I'd have gone about it differently.
He really didn't deserve that.
You already know what I think.
Been there, done that.
If he doesn't see that, I can't help
It
him.
was just like you said.
You don't have to ask me that.
Been there, done that.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
I can't believe that.
You don't have to ask me that.
I've got no time for things like that.
I'm not telling you anything new.
He really didn't deserve that.
What are you doing
You don't
here?
have to
That
tell me
is truly the stupidest question I've heard in a long time.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
I can't tell anything from that idiotic face you're making. That's why I have to ask.
Your mouth's too big for my taste. It's time somebody shut it
I've
for
got
you.
no time for things.
And now for the fun part. Slug him!
Give it your all! You showed him who's boss!
Hey, come over here.
What do you want?
This val-
I see.
You-
Well, we'll see the next time.
Where did you pick that up then?
You already know
Same
what I
old
think.
thing all over again.
Hey,
In
you!
the end.
That will never
How would you
change.
like to work for me from now on?
I've
Why
heard
not?
A thing or two.
What are you paying?
What does he know about duty?
You'll get half of the booty.
That sounds
You
good,
got all along.
but I'm warning you. Don't try tricking
Get
me,
away with that.
or you'll regret it. And one more thing. I don't want any
Like
weapons or other
Belliar
junk you
himself was
collect
after
here.
him.
I'm only interested.
Same old thing all over again.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
This is...
Suit
Maybe
yourself.
that isn't true.
I see you've joined the Dragon Hunters.
I followed Silvio into the Valley of Mines
idea.
because
You
I know
tell
my
me.
way around here best and wanted to get a clear picture of the situation.
didn't know
I'll
that.
tell you what, something's definitely brewing here.
He really should have
I've never
known
seen
better.
so many orcs in one place in all my life. It wouldn't surprise me if Gorn and the paladins in the castle had all fled or been slain by
It's
now.
as easy as that.
What are your plans now?
I'll follow the boys here to the Valley of Mines first and then take off later. I really have to find out what the orcs are planning.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
I'll see you around.
Look out for
That
yourself.
was no big deal.
I don't believe this
Do
is
you have
much
anything
use.
to drink?
I assume that it's not...
No,
That
I
was
haven't
no
had.
big deal.
Here, take this.
Don't say you didn't know that.
You don't have to tell me that.
That hit the spot.
Really didn't deserve
No,
that.
now I can.
That's no secret.
What are you...
I don't have any idea what would, and I don't care.
Things would have turned out differently if it hadn't been for us.
He ran like Belliar himself was after him.
Where do you come from?
We come from, the city.
You're bandits.
Careful. You're biting off more than you can chew.
You can't scare me.
We'll see about that.
And now for...
Finish him!
Finish him! Slug him! Let that be a lesson to him.
Hey, you. Guys like you should watch where they're going.
What are you trying to tell me?
I mean that the air out here isn't good for your health. And the place is just swarming with orcs and monsters. Not to mention the dragons. It's just a well-intentioned warning.
Are you the boss here?
Do I look like it? Certainly not. We don't need any self-important jerk ordering us around. When Silvio tried to act like he was the boss, we showed him and his buddies what we thought of that. There was a brawl. In the end,
I've heard of
they
things.
left on their own. I hope Sylvia wound up in a soup kettle of some orc.
That's the first I've heard of it.
So, you want to kill dragons?
Smart ass.
Where did you
So,
pick that up then?
do you know how to bring down a dragon? Do you think the beast will just sit there quietly while you chop off its head? Something like that takes good planning and decisive action.
I see. And how are you gonna go about that?
First, we'll scout out where we can find a beast. Only then will we think about the best way to attack.
Tell me that isn't true.
I think you won't even find a blind sheep.
What? Do you want me to push in your stupid face?
Things I could tell you.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
Ah!
Give it your all!
Give it your all!
Don't stop now!
Give it your all! Give it your all!
Ah! Oh!
Give it your all!
Finish him!
Give it your all! Show him! Show him!
Finish him! Let him have it!
Give it your all!
Show him!
Finish
him!
You showed him who's boss!
I've heard a thing or two.
And there's more, believe me.
I've heard a thing or two.
I couldn't care less.
I don't believe
We'll
this is
see
gonna
about
change.
that.
All right, all right.
He thinks it's as easy as that.
Can you?
I can give you. We can't use any. Go home.
That's the first I've heard of it.
That was no big deal.
I've heard a thing or two.
Some don't even know how wicked they are.
I'd have done it differently. differently.
I've my own opinion about that.
Do you have any news?
The only thing that's happened recently is you dragon hunters coming here.
Show me your wares.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
It's good that you've come. All hell is breaking loose here. A lot of us are getting really worried by now and no longer truly believe that we'll ever make it out of here alive.
Weren't there 2 of you sentinels up here?
Not anymore. Sengrath stood here on the battlements when suddenly he fell asleep. His good crossbow fell down when that happened. We could only just see one of the orcs snatch it up and disappear with it into the darkness. Sengrath woke up then and just ran into the night towards the orc palisades. He hasn't come back since. In us, be with us. Okay.
Hey, you! You're pulling such a long face.
Oh, damn it to hell. I tell you, you have to watch like a hawk. If you turn your back for a moment, all your stuff is gone. Dirty scum.
Did someone steal from you?
No. They smuggled 20 gold pieces into my pocket. Of course they stole something, you idiot. I tell you, when I get my hands on the dirty swine.
So what are you missing?
My purse, with all my savings in it. And now it's gone.
It'll turn up somewhere.
When I get my hands on him.
That was obvious.
I'm no better off myself.
What are you doing here?
I'm getting ready to fight. What else?
I'm not telling you anything new.
Who do you want to fight against?
I thought I'd drop in on the paladins and kick their fat asses. Idiot. Against the dragons, of course. What did you think?
He knew that all along.
Don't the paladins mind you being here?
Nonsense. They have entirely different problems. Most of them are glad to be still alive. The boys' morale isn't the best. That will be their downfall. I mean, just look at those nicked blades they're fixing to go into battle with. Any reasonable warrior would desert immediately.
That was obvious.
Have you separated from your group?
My group? I don't have a group. I'm a trophy collector. If I go home without a trophy, then I won't know what I came for. So I can't use anybody else.
Have you set eyes on a dragon yet?
No. I want to get my weapons in shape before I set off.
Aren't you afraid that somebody might beat you to it?
What? Who? Silvio? Your boss really thinks he can make a killing here, huh?
I'm not one of Silvio's people. I work for myself.
Oh, all right then. Forget I said anything. Have you seen the pathetic figures he's got with him? Silvio can be glad if he gets out of here alive.
Will it ever change?
Silvio was here?
Here in the castle, you mean? Yeah, he was. But only for a short time. He chatted with a few people here and then set out again.
That's the first I've...
So where is Silvio now?
The paladins here mentioned an ice dragon in the west. It's supposed to be the most dangerous and powerful of them all. You should have seen the gleam in Silvio's eye when he heard that. One guess where he went.
You don't seem to like him.
What do you mean, like? I'm not particularly proud that I know him. Silvio doesn't have any friends. He needs people who follow him no matter what. That's not for me. I work alone.
He would have never thought of that himself.
Can you help me improve my weapons?
Improve? Better to buy something new and throw away the junk you're carrying around. Maybe I've got something for you. Interested?
What can you say?
I think I've got what you...
That was obvious.
Justice will prevail in the end.
He
he didn't get that from me.
It's a bad business.
He really didn't deserve that.
That's really not my problem.
You don't have to ask me that.
I'm not touching that.
That's the first I've heard of it. He didn't get that from me. That's exactly what I said. You have to feel sorry for the poor guy. I hardly know what to believe anymore. Don't say you didn't know that. Some problems solve themselves. You don't have to ask me that. I've heard a thing or two.
That's no secret.
You have to feel sorry.
Why aren't you at work?
But that's disgusting! Have you had a look in my chamber? Those filthy meat bugs are everywhere. I have no idea. I hate those beasts.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Been there, done that.
All kinds of rumors. That's the first I've heard of it.
I'll get you now.
What with? The meat.
Are you sure that?
Pretty sure.
All right then.
Oh. Wait a minute. Are you all right?
And are you sure?
Look, there's one right behind you.
What? I'm out of here.
He should have known better.
Nobody ever asks me.
We can only wait and see. There've been all kinds of rumors. Anything's possible. I can't believe that. I knew that would be a problem. I don't want to hear that anymore. It's better to watch out who you tell what.
It's a bad business.
I wouldn't have done that.
I've my own opinion about that.
Where do you come from?
From the mainland. My people and I fled here.
I hardly know what to believe.
The situation there is getting worse. The orcs leave nothing but burned out villages behind. The king has lost control of his realm.
Where are your people now?
I left them. They thought they could take everything they wanted, even if it doesn't belong to them. Count me out.
What else do you know about the war?
The orcs are outside the capital.
That was obvious.
But whether it's fallen yet, I don't know. The last thing I heard was that the king is dead. But I don't believe that.
What are you doing here in the castle?
I heard about the dragons and wanted to help fight them. Unfortunately, I lost my sword when I was sneaking past the orcs. And now I'm stuck here. Without a sword, I can't get out of here. And the swords I can buy here are the worst junk.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
I shall find your sword.
That would be great. You should look for it on the high cliff to the south. I probably lost it there, near the orc tents.
I've my own opinion about that.
I'd have done it differently.
It was a really stupid idea to come here. I thought there was something to be had here. But there's nothing here but a few arrogant paladins and orcs.
Nobody ever asks for my opinion.
You forgot about the dragons.
How could I forget? I'll tell you what, I'm a blacksmith, not a warrior. Look, I make weapons. The fighting I leave to others.
Then why aren't you standing behind an anvil?
The paladins here won't let me into the smithy. I can't make anything unless I want to wind up in the dungeon.
It can't go on like
I'll
this.
try to help you.
How will you manage that? Parsifal has ordered a watch kept on us. No one would dare to disregard it.
I'll do whatever I can.
I can't imagine that he would listen to you.
Where do you come from?
I've joined up with some men from the mountains. We were headed for the valley to make a real profit hunting dragons. Their leader went by the name of Silvio. Boy, what an ass. He treated me like I was his property.
What happened in the castle?
Nothing that I've heard. Of course, I'm worried about what's happened outside the castle.
It can't go on like this forever.
What?
Nobody will learn anything from me.
His deeds were just.
Don't say you didn't know that.
I'm no
Don't I know you? You were Cor Angar. You used to be a Templar in the swamp camp.
Call me Angar. I have set aside my title. The Brotherhood of the Sleeper has disbanded.
Go on like this.
Curious, but you seem somehow familiar to me. Yet I cannot quite recall you.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, I haven't been able to sleep properly for some time. These constant nightmares.
How did you get here?
After the collapse of the magic barrier, I hid myself in the mountains. It became time for me to do something. I strayed about for days until I suddenly awoke in the castle. Do not ask me what happened. I don't know. To make matters worse, I have also lost the amulet which I have had for years. I shall go mad if I do not find it again.
I wouldn't be so sure.
What will you do next?
I shall rest a while first, so that I may take up the search for my lost amulet. I have heard something of dragons. It is also being said that many warriors have come to the Valley of Mines to hunt them. I am thinking of joining them. It's all just gossip.
What happened to the others from the swamp camp?
The last thing I remember is that the barrier collapsed, accompanied by a nerve-shattering scream. Stricken with panicked fear, we fell to the ground, writhing in pain. That voice, it grew ever louder. And then, when it was over, they all ran mad and disappeared into the bleak night, screaming loudly. I have not seen them again.
Where exactly did you lose your amulet?
Somewhere in the south, shortly before I awoke here in the castle. I suspect it was stolen. I absolutely must have it back.
I can't believe it.
Maybe I can help you find your amulet.
Why not? Some help cannot hurt.
He didn't get that from me.
What about the dragon hunters?
I will speak with them later. Maybe they can use a strong arm.
His deeds.
When will you go?
As soon as I feel better. Will it ever change?
Where do you want to look?
I shall go to the south, where I was last. There is a cave tomb there, surrounded by many boulders.
I'm not touching that.
I've got to go.
Watch your back. Do you really believe that?
Let's wait and see what happens.
Where did you pick that up, then?
But he knew that all along.
He listened to the wrong people.
Do you really think?
That isn't true. Nobody ever asks for my opinion.
Do you really think?
Deserve that.
That's been known a long time.
Nothing's ever gonna change that. That was quite obvious.
I'm back.
I can see that for myself. Where are the reinforcements?
Lord Hagen will come as soon as he's settled everything. Much has happened.
I don't care. I need troops. There are more and more orcs, and we can't hold out much longer. My men are tired, and we're running out of provisions.
Some volunteers have arrived.
You mean yourself and your fellow dragon hunters, eh? You can help us, but there just aren't enough of you. If Hagen doesn't send some men soon, I can't make any guarantees.
There is a problem with the smith.
What, Smith? He's disappeared into the woodwork. Is he back? Then you can tell him.
No, I'm talking about Jan. He is a dragon hunter, just like me, and a good blacksmith.
That's good. Our previous smith just slinked off, the coward.
Jan would be willing to take over the smithy.
I see. So you think I can trust him?
Yes?
If you're so sure, then you can vouch for him. If he causes any trouble, you'll answer for it. Agreed?
I'll vouch for Jan.
All right. He can use the smithy. Of course, he'll also have to provide my men with swords.
Can you give me more information about the dragons?
I have other things to worry about. My strategic officer Aura can tell you more about that.
I'm back already.
I never thought we would see you here again. After that scene when you were here a few days ago, maybe your appearance is a good omen.
I need more information about the dragons.
A rather large swamp has developed in the last couple of days to the west of the old castle. That's rather suspicious, wouldn't you say?
I need more information about the dragon.
At the moment,
Can I help?
At the moment, there is. We are planning to cut off.
What do you mean?
We know one of their leaders. His name is Hoshpak. He is one.
And what is my...
Kill him.
That's a joke.
You want to help. Hoshpak's tent is. You can.
All right.
I am glad to. Hoshpak's tent stand. It is not.
Hey, you! And
if you want to look exactly what I said.
One must violate the divine order.
I don't believe this is going to change. I hardly know what to believe anymore.
Some problems solve themselves. But he knew that all along.
I already thought as much.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Nothing's ever going to change that.
That was obvious.
Go get your hammer. There's work for you.
You did? How'd you manage that?
I had to vouch for you, so don't disappoint me.
Don't worry. I'm glad that I can work it all.
That was obvious.
So why won't they listen to me?
Will it ever change?
I'm not touching that.
What can...
I think I've...
I'm not telling you anything new.
His deeds were just.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
I can't believe it.
I never knew that.
You didn't get that from me.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
That's the first I've heard of it.
I never knew that.
It can't go on like this forever.
Justice will prevail in the end.
Some don't even know how wicked they are.
Do you really believe that?
I don't believe this is going to change.
Justice will prevail in the end.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
Don't say you didn't know that.
Justice will prevail in the end.
It was just like you said.
If he doesn't see that, I can't help it.
I've my own opinion about that.
Is it really true?
But he knew that all along.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
He really didn't deserve that.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
We listen to the wrong people.
I can't believe it.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Nobody ever asks for my opinion.
Do you really believe that?
Don't say you didn't know that. I've heard a thing or two.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
I've my own opinion about that.
It's a bad business.
That was obvious.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
Don't say you didn't know that.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
Where did you pick that up then?
I'm no better off myself.
I'm what to believe. You mustn't believe everything you hear.
It's a bad business.
Wait a minute. What?
I think...
I'd have done it differently.
But he knew that all along.
I never knew that.
I can't believe it.
He would have never thought of that himself.
Some don't even know how wicked they are.
It's a bad business.
I've my own opinion about that.
Enos enlightens all those who recognize his wisdom.
Nobody ever asks for my opinion.
That's all just gossip.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
That's been known a long time.
But he knew that all along.
That's been known a long time.
Don't say you didn't know that.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
Some don't even know how wicked they are.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
But he knew that all along.
Someone's got to pay for that.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
That was obvious all along.
It was just like you said.
Will it ever change?
That was obvious.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
Hey,
It was just like you said.
What happened? No.
Nope.
Can I? If I had any.
I don't believe.
can you make one for me then?
Well, if you want something better, you'll have to get me the materials.
What is it you need?
You want to fight the dragons, don't you? Bring me some dragon scales. With those, I should be able. 20 scales.
I've heard a thing.
What happened?
Nothing.
Are you
I would have, but I can.
teach?
What?
I wouldn't be so sure.
Will it ever change?
I've heard a thing or two.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
It was just like you said. His deeds were just.
Justice will prevail in the end.
Don't say you didn't know that.
Will it ever change?
I wouldn't be so sure.
Oh,
You look like a hunter who doesn't know what to do with his time.
Yep, you got a point there. But what am I to do? I can't get back across the pass, so I'm just staying here doing what I do best. Come close to my fire and warm yourself up.
Are you a former prisoner of the barrier?
No. What do you think? Someone from a rich pickings. The only thing is, and
You seem to be...
Oh well, looks like they don't...
What do you...
Well,
Can you teach...
I see. So you've...
What do you want for it?
Would you happen to have anything to...
I'll see what I can do. Here's your cheat.
Really, you got...
What can...
I'll have to disappoint you there. You are... I'll have to disappoint you there.
Have you...
Yeah.
Are you alone?
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear it. And then he... If you...
Everything all right with you?
These boots are killing me. The new armor's really great, but what are the straps on these boots? If I loosen them, the...
Where did you get...
That old warhorse Bennett made them for us dragon hunters. And had us... If I ever...
What for... Nice.
You said it. Stinks like a slaughterhouse.
What are you doing here?
I've been sitting here for some time, just
right moment.
There's supposed to be a I can weapon now. Well, what about?
Why?
That's good.
Nah.
Let's go. All right. So much for you, filthy beast. The swamp starts just by, or you can also
let's not waste it.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast. All right. So much for you, filthy beast. Another one of those things. Another one of those things.
Hey, I've still got it.
I can already hear.
Hey, you! What's the...
These boots.